Next up, Russ and I discuss the movies we want desperately in 4K.
And I'll tell you why. Because I'm sentimental.
Welcome back to 4K Kings. My name is Matt.
I am Russ.
And welcome to your home of physical media, movie reviews, and so much more.
A lot more.
A lot more.
A lot more.
A lot more to give.
I'm uncomfortable now, Matt.
Russ, there are so many movies that have still not made the jump to 4K. I'm going to talk about movies that I've wanted for a long time, movies that have yet to make the jump, some never from even into Blu-ray.
I had to narrow it down. There's quite a few. There's a lot of titles out there that have not made the jump.
But I wanted to sort of, like you said, narrow it down to ones that I feel like are important necessarily and that are inevitable to come out. Like, why haven't they come out yet?
I did the same. I just didn't pick some off-the-wall shit that I know will never get released.
I have a few of those too, and we'll talk about those at the end.
Are you done? Great. Then let's cut the BS and get real.
I'm starting off with The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Why this has not been released on 4K is baffling. Even on Blu-ray, there is no definitive special collector's edition. I would love a company like Criterion to jump on this. And if you haven't seen this film, I mean, it is lush. It is incredible to look at. It is a beautiful film. It's like watching a painting, a beautiful painting. Yeah. I mean, I would love this in 4K. Yeah. Beyond that, I just think it's a great film. I think it's one of the best films of this century, one of the best American films of this century. I think it's one of Brad Pitt's greatest performances. The film also includes one of my favorite scores of all time, not just of this decade, the Nick Cave and Warren Ellis score. I feel like there's a lot of people on my side with this title as well. I hope it gets a deluxe treatment. It needs it. It needs it.
You've recommended this movie to me before, and I have wanted to see it. I've just never gotten to it. And at this point, I feel like if it did come out in 4K, I probably would just be erring on the side of blind buying at this rate.
It can be a divisive movie. It's longer. Okay. It's meditative. It's I have heard people say it's boring.
I'm sorry to hear you say that.
I'm just going to call out a director here, Paul Thomas Anderson. Right off the bat, There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, and Magnolia are the first three that come to mind. I have There Will Be Blood here, which, again, all of these need to be in 4K, for Christ's sake. Like, come on, let's get on it. Like, I know Criterion has Punch Drunk Love, and they haven't done a 4K of that yet, but any of these could be in 4K at some point by the studio, whomever. Just why not? Like, he's a celebrated director with a great catalog. Where are these movies?
My next selection is Boogie Nights. Yeah. And similar to you, There Will Be Blood would be my next choice as well. But for me, you know, I was on board with Boogie Nights since it came out when I was 15 years old. The movie blew me away. It was one of those movies, it taught me a lot about films. Mm-hmm. Plus, it's very vibrant. It's a lot of great colors in that movie. Mm-hmm. And it's popular.
It is.
It's popular. Why have we not gotten a 4K of this?
I'm going to keep trying if you guys keep trying.
I mean, I could see, you know, at least Boogie Nights. At least There Will Be Blood.
Out of all of his titles, I feel like Boogie Nights or Punch Drunk Love would be the ones that, come on, that's a no-brainer.
I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to why his titles are held up. Maybe it has something to do with him.
I don't know. Mark Wahlberg's holding it back.
I want to fuck. It's my big dick. So everybody get ready fucking now.
Another obvious director, too, is David Fincher. Zodiac and Fight Club come to mind with him. Seven just finally got announced and it's coming out later in the year. Fight Club almost feels like that should have been first in a way, and I don't know that he's interested in going back to that.
That's not like a specific, hey, I denounce Fight Club.
No, I don't think it's I denounce Fight Club, but it just sounds like he's not in, maybe you're right, maybe it's out of context. This makes it look like he's not in a hurry to go back and like revisit anything to do with it. Here's my Fight Club Blu-ray. This little like box, like little flapper guy. Maybe we'll get Fight Club, but I would like to have either Zodiac, Fight Club. Let's get more Fincher titles out there too.
He's a visual director. Yeah. It's baffling. These titles should have been one of the first to debut on the format.
So nobody cares.
What's your next one, Russ?
I'm going with Terrence Malick's Badlands, 70s classic. Specifically, again, for the visuals, for the stunning cinematography. Americana has never been captured more beautifully than that film. Every shot, just a painting. It's just so striking visually. Criterion, I know you guys have it. I feel like it has to happen this year.
That's kind of my thought process for my next one. This hasn't been rumored to come out, but I feel like it's got to come out this year. Terminator.
Update.
Honestly, I don't know what the hell was the problem with this not being a part of the camera and 4K lineup in the first place. Like, what's holding this one up? True Lies fine, Abyss fine, Aliens fine. Why not Terminator also? It's its 40th anniversary this year.
I don't know.
Is it because they're going to do something bigger for this, and these three are kind of like, here, take these and shut up? Terminator, we're really going to put something nice out for. Why not just stick it out at the same time?
To be honest, the way the other Cameron releases have been handled, who cares? I'd rather get like an Arrow or somebody giving us Terminator rather than what's happened with the Abyss and True Lies and all that.
I hope Terminator gets a better treatment than the three that we just got.
And I believe it will. And I'm with you. This was on my list also. Because like you said, it's the anniversary. Cameron's been getting a lot of love. It just feels like this has to be in the pipeline.
It's time.
Hey, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
And another, one of my favorite movies of this century, City of God. Why does City of God not have a 4K?
That's a good question. That movie's excellent.
Fucking pops so hard.
Yeah.
Man. And it is a great, great, great film.
That movie's dying for a restoration.
I always tell people who are kind of like hesitant with foreign language films, don't like subtitles. I always say, yo, no, watch City of God.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're going to forget in 5 minutes and you're going to be, it's a rush. You're going to love it. Why does that not have a 4K?
That's a Criterion title if ever there was one.
Oh, God, yes, Criterion. Oh, yeah. But yeah, City of God, man, that's on my list. I would love that in 4K.
Second Sight, I feel like they're the most likely candidate to put out this next film that I would really want to see in 4K in a really awesome edition, and that's Under the Skin, which will be maybe the like 30th time I've mentioned Under the Skin on this channel. I'm not sure what's going on here, why we only got a blue in the first place. This is an extremely visual film. It's UK funded. Second Sight, it's right up their alley. I mean, this looks like a title you would get a nice ass box for, nice booklet, all those fine, delicious trimmings that we love.
That's totally a Second Sight release.
Isn't it? Come on, guys.
I would pick it up in a heartbeat as well.
Second Sight, come on. It's definitely a movie that I've just been waiting for in 4K. And plus it's A24 related. They're putting out all their 4Ks in these nice little leather-bound tomes and shit. Plus you got that Brian Grazer dude who just put out Zone of Interest, which I would love to see. Academy Award nominated. Let's go back and revisit his catalog. Sexy Beast, 4K of that. Come on.
No! No, 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 no!
Matt, I introduced you to this movie within the past year or so. I'm dying, pun intended, for a 4K of Jacob's Ladder. Done
awesome.
by any company that specializes in cult films. Wow, what a underseen film, almost forgotten film. That's a film I would even love to hear what the film historians have to say.
True,
it's
yeah.
a movie you watch. I want to hear other people's opinions on it. So you could even do new features that doesn't rely specifically on getting Tim Robbins or Adrian Lynn back or anything like that. I want it in 4K. What a mind fuck of a film. Emotional, brilliant. Jacob's Ladder. We need that 4K.
Here's one that I don't know why isn't in 4K yet, considering Scream Factory's track record lately, but Big Trouble in Little China. It's like, why isn't this out in 4K yet? I would love to see a Scream Factory, an Arrow, somebody put out an awesome 4K set of Big Trouble in Little China. I would buy it in a heartbeat. I've got this Scream Factory Blu-ray right here. And not to say this is one that I'm like, when is it going to happen? I'm dying for it to happen. It's just baffling to me that it hasn't been.
You know what's so funny? When I was putting my list together, right, I thought about Big Trouble in Little China. I convinced myself that must have come out and I didn't buy it.
It seems like it would have been.
Every other Carpenter movie's been Halloween, all the big ones. They Live,
exactly.
From New York.
And I would buy it right away. It'd be awesome if Arrow put a nice hard box on that bitch.
Who would buy that?
That'd be nice.
Everyone!
Russ, what's your next one?
This is one, again, kind of surprises me. I'd even settle for a box set because as a series, it's not terrible.
You don't have to say a word. I can read your mind.
I really would love a standalone special edition of the original 1987 Lethal Weapon. Make that happen.
Solo Steelbook.
Something like that. Make it happen. I don't know what holds that back either. I feel like that would sell, you know, to the demographic that buys physical media. I think Lethal Weapon is right up our alley.
I think I've only seen Lethal Weapon 2, to be honest.
Thanks.
Dude, Lethal Weapon 2 is not bad.
I liked it.
3's not bad either. 4 is the worst, but I have to admit, even 4 wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. Fun fact, it has probably my favorite suicide attempt in any movie I've ever seen. Oh, and one of my favorite lines of dialogue.
God hates me, that's what it is.
Hate him back. It works for me.
Dude.
Ice cold.
Gary Busey.
Oh, yeah. Isn't he the villain?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. And he laughs twice at the movie.
We need a 4K just so Matt can watch the original Lethal Weapon.
I will say, since you spoke on Gary Busey, this one was going to be a little bit later in my list, but it's still one that I would buy immediately. Under Siege.
I'm thrilled to death to hear that. Yeah.
Under Siege, Steven Seagal. I mean, none of his films are out in 4K, but Under Siege, if anything, like Kino, maybe Lorber or somebody of that ilk. I don't know, but I feel like, come on, Under Siege. There's Under Siege fans out there.
There are.
And in this room.
You know what, though?
Come on, Russ.
No. Would I buy? I don't know if I'd buy Under Siege.
Come on.
I'm in the same camp of I want it on 4K.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. There's a market out there, and I agree with you. Holy shit, it's the most legit Steven Seagal film by a mile. You know what I mean? Like, it has Tommy Lee Jones in it, so automatically
You're off.
it's above every other Steven Seagal film that was ever even thought of. But it was also a Die Hard ripoff.
Yep.
You know, it's so it always existed in this. I don't know what class it's in.
True.
Quality-wise, his best movie.
Yeah.
But is it the best Steven Seagal movie? I don't know if I can say that. I'd want Out for Justice.
You like that one better?
I guess that means I won't get to see you go through puberty.
What else you got?
Spike Lee is one of my favorite directors of all time. I've been getting Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, but I want to see it expand more. So I wanted to pick not like one of his most important films, but one of his really great sort of lesser tier ones. I want to see Summer of Sam in 4K. I adore that film. I'm also very fond of punk rock. I'm very fond of disco. I'm very fond of murdering women.
I want you to go out and kill.
No. It's just it's a brilliant fucking movie.
True.
It pops so hard. It's colorful. You got all these different scenes of New York. The energy is off the charts. I want more Spike in 4K. I think that'd be like a Kino release.
Okay.
I mean, I know Kino has done a lot of Spike Lee stuff, but I'd like to see Kino put out a nice 4K of Summer of Sam and keep it rolling on the Spike Lee train.
And that's funny. I feel like we're segueing into each other really good here because I've got a segue for that as well. And an Ed Norton trio, starting with 25th Hour, but then also American History X and People vs. Larry Flint. Where are these at? Especially if you're talking American History X, that's got probably the most cachet out of all these. Where's that at?
And you brought up Fight Club with Fincher. Now, let me point this out. Classic, right? We need the 4K. They gave us Primal Fear.
You dumb fuck!
Look at all this beloved shit here. 2 huge cult films, kind of a prestigious one, but gets a lot of love from people like you and I. Underrated gem that Criterion could do.
Yeah, dude.
But we got Primal Fear.
These are bangers. And I saw these on my shelf and I was like, these all need 4K. Why have they not?
God does not like you. He never wanted you. In all probability, he hates you.
One of my favorite older films is Billy Wilder's Sunset Boulevard. And I would love for that to come out in 4K. I would love almost like what Zavi did with Casablanca that I own. I would want that treatment. People who collect, who might have never seen it, dive in. A classic dark comedy. At a time when it was made, dark comedies weren't really a thing. It's one of those movies like you know things about it, but you don't even realize you know it. Here's another great example. It's the first film ever to have the lead character be dead and narrate the film. But I fucking adore it. I saw it in the theater when it came around again. Like I own the Blu-ray I have it's chintzy
as hell.
It's some cheap shit.
I'm going to show just a trio of childhood favorites, Russ, that I feel like it's not just my nostalgia that demands the 4K, but I feel like these in some way It's kind of baffling to me that these haven't come out. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, Russ, or anyone else. But the first one maybe is wishful thinking. But given that Sony has been on like a really great run and put out Real Genius, I'm going to throw out there Just One of the Guys, which again, it seems impossible to me. However, a Sony Blu-ray does exist. So what's next but maybe a Sony 4K Steelbook, regular edition? I don't know, but let's make it happen.
Can't you hear what you're saying? Aren't you a little embarrassed?
Another one is the Coen Brothers, Raising Arizona. Their films are coming out in 4K. I don't know why this one has not. This one seems like, no-brainer for it to have come out at this point. What's holding them up for this specific one? I don't know.
I could see it happening, especially with Nicolas Cage.
And then Willow, which again, I know it has a lot of fan love. There was a new, like a Disney Plus series that came out. There was some interest in revisiting that. I thought that at that point, okay, here's when that 4K title is going to come out. But we got to let people know there's fans for Willow out here. We need to get our 4Ks, Russ.
Yeah. All right, let's get this one out. 40 years. What the fuck? A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I brought my DVD over.
Damn, I would love the entire series, include the Never Sleep Again docs, include everything that exists over the 40-some years in existence of this franchise. But realistically, I know what's probably going to happen is just a 4K of the original, and I'm fine with that for now. But Jesus Christ, this is Nightmare on Elm Street. Do the right thing. I mean, come on. Do you see how much money Halloween makes for other companies? Do you see how much money Friday the 13th makes? Like, what are you guys doing here? You are sitting on just free money. Do it.
I've never bought anything other than this. I know you've got it all.
I buy multiple copies of it. I have a German media book of it.
Yeah.
Nightmare is one of those movies for me that ever since I was a child, I'll get every iteration of it.
I would buy a box set of this in a heartbeat.
We'll see, bitch. We'll just see.
Early Peter Jackson films. We're on James Cameron True Lies Abyss levels of come on now. For me particularly, I want Dead Alive and Heavenly Creatures, but I also would pick up Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles. The Lord of the Rings love combined with the cult love, again, you're just letting money pass you by. I don't understand it.
I agree, and I feel like I don't know if it's where the masters are located or what the quality of what the materials even are that they've got, but you're right. It's like these would be purchased.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for sure. I just had two honorable mentions as well. These aren't anything that anyone's clamoring for other than me. I Heart Huckabees, which has only ever come out on DVD, and Children of Men. I Heart Huckabees is a little head scratching for me just because I feel like the director has done really, acclaimed work as well. I don't know why his stuff hasn't come out in any real quality 4K releases. And again, Children of Men, quality sci-fi.
Yeah, I think people would be clamoring for Children of Men.
Alfonso Cuarón.
I think people would clamor for Children of Men. I also think I Heart Huckabees. I adore it. I want a 4K with new special features. I want Lily Tomlin to come back and talk about how she was abused on set.
Hey, bitch! I'm not here to be yelled at. I worked on this thing for 3 years, not to have some yell at me.
I want to hear what Dustin Hoffman was thinking when he just stood there and watched David O. Russell scream at everybody.
Fuck you! I'm just trying to help you. Do you understand me? No, I'm being a collaborator.
I'm going to end on this. At least the Blu-ray of House Party.
Look, sorry, okay?
If you like this video, let us know what you're waiting for in 4K. If any one of you out there would buy a Blu-ray of House Party, let us know that too.
I'll buy 10 if you just put it out. I'm not asking for 4K. Give me a film cell of it. I don't give a fuck.
If you enjoyed this video, let us know. Let us know what you're waiting on too. For 4K Kings, I am Matt.
I am Russ.
And we will see you next time.